Let's go on to the next lecture today. Methods of preparation of aldehydes and ketones. As I told you yesterday कि इसको हम लोग जो methods of preparation है उसको हमने तीन उसमें classify करा है या तीन sections में divide करा है. First section में हम लोग वो methods of preparation करेंगे which are going to be common to both aldehydes and ketones. जिससे हम लोग by just changing the alcohol or by changing the reagents we can convert it into either aldehydes or ketones. Second हम लोग करेंगे method of preparation which is meant only for aldehydes. ठीक है? So there are certain name reactions which are going to be meant only for aldehydes. So that is an important section which we will discuss. And third we are going to discuss certain methods of preparation which are only true for ketones. ठीक है? So जिससे हम aldehydes prepare कर रहे हैं उससे हम ketones prepare नहीं कर सकते और जिससे हम ketones prepare कर रहे हैं उससे हम aldehydes नहीं prepare कर सकते. So let's go on to first the general methods of preparation of both aldehydes and ketones. Some of them we have already done in alcohols. So first method of preparation जो हम करेंगे that is preparing aldehydes and ketones from alcohols. Alcohol से हम कैसे prepare करते हैं? First जो method है that is by controlled oxidation, right? So by controlled oxidation, controlled oxidation का मतलब क्या हुआ कि यहाँ पे हम लोग यूज करने वाले हैं mild oxidizing agents. So just let's make just a list of the oxidizing agents which we are going to do. The general reaction which is going to be that if we are taking a primary alcohol RCH2OH, we are oxidizing it. This is going to give us an aldehyde with the same number of carbon atoms as present in the reactant. Okay? But if we are taking a secondary alcohol over here, on oxidizing it with mild oxidizing agent, this is going to give us a ketone. But again the number of carbon atoms, they are going to be same as that are present in the reactants. So the mild oxidizing agents which we can use over here, we can use number 1 K2Cr2O7 in dilute H2SO4. Okay, this is one oxidizing agent. But you have to keep it cold. So the temperature has to be low for such a reaction in which we are using K2Cr2 potassium dichromate as the oxidizing agent. Second is the Jones reagent. Jones reagent. Jones reagent is chromium trioxide, H2SO4 and acetone, right? So it's a mixture of chromium trioxide, H2SO4 and acetone. Then we have Fanton's reagent. Fanton's reagent, that is FeSO4 in hydrogen peroxide. This is the Fanton's reagent, right? Then we have the Saret's reagent. Saret's reagent, that is going to be pyridinium chlorochromate, PCC. Pyridinium chlorochromate in methylene chloride. This is the Saret's reagent. Then we can use PDC. PDC is pyridinium dichromate. Right? This is going to be pyridinium dichromate, PDC. Okay, this is another mild oxidizing agent. Then we can also use copper at a temperature of 573 Kelvin, or we can use silver at the same temperature of 573 Kelvin. Generally ये वाले जो reactions हम लोग करते हैं with copper and silver, they are better known as dehydrogenation reactions rather than oxidation reactions. ठीक है? फिर उसके बाद we have CAN. CAN is another reagent which we use, CAN. This is known as ceric ammonium nitrate. So if we're using any of these oxidizing agents over here, that is going to convert the primary alcohols into aldehydes, and it will convert the secondary alcohols into ketones. Okay. Now we will see that there are certain reagents, like for example, if you're taking PCC, pyridinium chlorochromate, in CH2Cl2. These are the reagents which are not going to affect the double bond if present in any compound. It will only hit the functional group. For example, if you're taking a cyclic compound over here of the type, this is cyclohexenol. Okay, जब इसकी हम ऑक्सीडेशन करते हैं in PCC or okay, you do it in PCC. This is the Sarich reagent which we are using over here. PCC in CH2Cl2. It is seen over here that the double bond that is not going to be affected, that remains as it is, and we are going to get over here cyclohexenone. Right? It's only the functional group which are going to be hit over here. Now the aldehydes which are formed over here, that is, for example, we are taking over here RCHO which is formed. This can be further very easily oxidized to acids. Okay, so this can be further oxidized to acids. In order to keep the reactions to RCHO only, we have to use this controlled oxidation, which can be done by all these processes or all these mild oxidizing agents. If you are using strong oxidizing agents, the aldehydes, they will be easily converted to acids over here. Okay, so the main purpose of keeping mild oxidizing agents over here is such that the alcohols, they stop the reaction at the formation of aldehydes, and aldehydes, they are not further oxidized to acids. Okay, so let's just see some other examples of oxidation. When we're doing some other examples over here, we are taking a normal alcohol CH3CH2OH, oxidation in presence of K2Cr2O7. This is going to give us CH3CHO. ठीक है? Or if we have methyl alcohol, again we are doing the oxidation in presence of acidified K2Cr2O7. Acidified K2Cr2O7 means that we put a little amount of dilute acid in this. This is going to give us formaldehyde, HCHO. ठीक है, and plus this is going to give us a molecule of water. It is converted into its respective aldehyde. Okay, now PCC over here, as I have just told you, that they can be further classified, or they can be further the PCC, that they are not going to hit the double bond if it is present. Okay, now if in case we are taking an ethyl alcohol, or we are taking a secondary alcohol over here of the type CH3, CH2, COH and CH3, and we are oxidizing this in presence of any of the mild oxidizing agents which we have just done. This is going to give us a ketone. Okay, so we are going to get a ketone over here. And if we have a cyclic compound of the type OH, if we are doing the oxidation of this is going to give us, this is cyclopentanol, it is going to give us cyclopentanone. So cyclic compounds over here, if the OH is directly attached to the cycle, it is going to be converted into its respective ketone and not aldehyde. Right? But if we have a compound of the type and we are doing the oxidation of this is going to give us a ketone, aldehyde, CHO. Okay, so let's go on to the second method of preparation. The first one which we've done over here is from controlled oxidation. The second is catalytic dehydrogenation. We've already done this reaction in our previous chapter by catalytic dehydrogenation. Over here we are going to dehydrogenate in presence of copper at a temperature of 573 Kelvin. So we have over here our CH2OH in presence of copper at 573 Kelvin. If you are taking a primary alcohol over here, this is going to be converted into aldehyde. If you are taking a secondary alcohol over here, this is going to be converted to ketone. Okay, and if we are taking a tertiary, it is going to give us an alkene. If we are taking a tertiary alcohol, copper at 573 Kelvin, this is going to give us an alkene. So instead of dehydrogenation, it is dehydration which is going to take place over here. That is a removal of water molecule that is going to take place. Okay? So primary on dehydrogenation is going to give us an aldehyde. Secondary on dehydration is going to give us a ketone, and tertiary on dehydrogenation, it does not undergo dehydrogenation but it prefers undergoing dehydration, thereby giving us an alkene. So this is the first method from alcohols. The second method is from carboxylic acids. From carboxylic acids. Now the first method from carboxylic acid is by dry distillation of calcium salts of carboxylic acids. By dry distillation of calcium salts of carboxylic acid. So over here, let's take the salt as formic acid, calcium formate we are taking. Now this reaction that is going to follow the decarboxylation path, which means that a molecule of carbon dioxide that is going to be removed in the form of carbonate. So if we are heating this, what are we going to get over here? This calcium carbonate that is going to be eliminated. So we left with HCHO plus calcium carbonate. Okay? We have HCHO plus calcium carbonate. Similarly, if we are taking calcium acetate is CH3COO. This is calcium acetate. On heating, this is also going to lose a molecule of carbon dioxide and we are going to get a ketone. CH3C double bond O, CH3 plus calcium carbonate. Right? Now over here, generally the yield that is going to be very poor. We do not get a high yield of the aldehydes and ketones. Cyclic ketones may also be formed if we are taking calcium salts of dicarboxylic acids. We are taking over here calcium succinate. Calcium succinate is this is going to be calcium succinate. Okay, so this is going to give us epoxide or it is going to give us a cyclic ketone. So we have over here CH2 plus calcium carbonate. Okay, so this is going to be the reaction over here. We are going to get, sorry, यहाँ पे C double bond. we are going to get a cyclic ketone over here. Is it clear? Then the second method from carboxylic acid is by catalytic decomposition of carboxylic acids. Catalytic decomposition of carboxylic acids. In this case, we are going to use a catalyst, and generally the catalyst used is going to be alumina, and the temperature is raised to approximately 400 degrees Celsius. So, if we are taking two different kind of carboxylic acids, this is one which has an alkyl group, and the second one which we are going to take over here is the formic acid, HCOOH. In presence of alumina at 400 degrees Celsius, this is going to give us aldehyde RCHO, okay, and plus water molecule and plus carbon dioxide. Okay? So this is how we can do the catalytic decomposition. Now if in case we are taking over here the molecule of CH3COOH, let's take an example. We are taking over here one acetic acid and we are taking formic acid alumina at 400 degrees Celsius. This is going to give us plus carbon dioxide. Okay? So this is the type of reaction which we are going to get over here. Now in this case the yield is approximately you can say 60%. So 60% of the aldehyde that can be prepared by this method. Then we have preparation of symmetrical ketones can also be done by this method. So if we are taking two molecules of the same acid, okay, CH3COOH, the catalyst which we can use over here is manganese oxide, and the temperature that can be controlled at 300 degrees Celsius. When we are going to get a ketone, a symmetrical ketone plus water. Okay? So we are getting a ketone over here plus carbon dioxide plus water. Then the second method over here, the third method which we are going to do, that is, first we did from alcohols, second we did from carboxylic acids. The third method is by hydrolysis of gem dihalides. What are gem dihalides? When the halogen, both the halogens, they are attached to the same carbon atom, that is going to be gem dihalide. We do the hydrolysis in presence of aqueous KOH. When both the chlorines, they are going to be substituted by the OH. So we have over here a gem hydric alcohol, dihydric alcohol. Now this is going to be very, very unstable. So immediately as it is formed, it is going to lose a water molecule, minus H2O, to give us the aldehyde, CH3CHO. Is it clear? So this is how you can form the aldehydes from gem dihalides. Then the next method of preparation is from alkenes. Fourth method of preparation which we are going to do, that is from alkenes. Now over here, the first method is by ozonolysis. Ozonolysis is the addition addition of ozone. It is also known as reductive ozonolysis. Okay. Now in this what we are going to do is we are going to dissolve the alkenes in an inert solvent. So inert solvent you can take either you can take CCl4 or you can take methylene dichloride, that is CH2Cl2. Either of the two. So first of all we are going to dissolve the alkenes in the inert solvent, and after that at low temperature we are going to subject that solvent to a stream of ozone, right? So what is going to be the, let's just see the mechanism of this reaction by taking a very simple alkene over here, the first member of the homologous series. So if we are adding ozone, oxygens will add around the double bond. So we have over here CH2O. This is how oxygens we are going to attack. But remember that the oxygens will only attack at the double bond. Now when we are going to hydrolyze this solution, there is going to be a cleavage of the bond from both the sides, such that we get HCHO plus HCHO and plus H2O2. Okay, now let's take another alkene to understand this better. If you're taking a propene over here, plus ozone, as I just told you that the oxygens, they are going to add up along a double bond, such that we have propylene ozonide which is going to be formed over here. This molecule that is known as ozonide. Okay, then on reacting this with water, there is going to be a cleavage of bond which will take place from here and here, such that we have CH3 CHO plus HCHO. So we are going to get two different aldehydes over here. Okay, now let's take a butene. Okay, this is but2ene, right? So but2ene अगर हम लोग लेते हैं और ओजोन ऐड करते हैं, again the ozonoid is going to be formed. So we have CH3 CHO again cleavage of the bond in presence of water. So we are going to get CH3 CHO plus H2O2. Right? Now in order to manipulate the products in your competitions, you do not have to go through the entire reaction. The only thing which we have to do over here is that the cleavage of the bond is going to take place from here, and you have to add a double bond O to this carbon atom and double bond O to this carbon atom. That is going to be your products. Now if in case the question comes in such a manner that the products are given to you and you have to manipulate the reactant, so in that case what you have to do, you have to, like these are the two products, you have to abolish this oxygen and abolish this oxygen, and there is going to be a double bond between these two carbons. That is going to give you the reactant from the products. So both ways the question can come. So let's just take an example over here. They have given you this is the compound, and they say what are going to be the products of ozonolysis of this compound. So it is very simple. You have to cleave the bond from here, and you will add double bond O to this carbon atom and double bond O to this carbon atom, such that the products which we are going to get is C double bond O and CH3. Similarly CH3 CH3 C double bond O, so we get two molecules of acetone. Is it clear? So this is how you can manipulate the products from the reactants, or vice versa. From the reactants you can manipulate the products, and from products also you can manipulate the reactants. This is the kind of question which generally comes to you. Okay, so this is what ozonolysis is. Now, the second method which we are doing in this case from alkenes, second method which we are going to do is the oxidation of alkenes using an oxidizing agent which is known as NaI4, sodium iodate. This is also known as Lumix reagent. This is also known as Lumix reagent, right? So we have over here this is we taking but2ene, ठीक है, और इसकी हम ऑक्सीडेशन कर रहे हैं in presence of sodium iodate. This is going to give us aldehyde. CH3CHO, ठीक है, और because ये R हमने लिया हुआ है, so instead of taking CH3 over here, you can take RCHO. So alkene can be directly converted to aldehyde by taking sodium iodate. Okay. Also, we can oxidize alkenes to aldehydes and ketones in presence of chromyl fluoride. So the third method is by oxidation of alkenes in presence of an oxidizing agent which is CrO2Cl2. Right? Now over here also we need an inert solvent. So we are taking over here CH2Cl2. ठीक है? So इस पे हम लोग किसी भी उसको अगर react करते हैं with a double bond, that is going to be converted into its respective aldehyde. For example, if we have this is the alkene which we have. This is 2-methyl pentene. Okay, so we are taking 2-methyl pentene. Over here, this is going to be converted into an aldehyde. So we are taking CrO2Cl2. This is going to be converted into CHO. This is the compound which we are going to get, 2-methyl pentanol. Okay, and if we have over here 2,3-dimethyl but2ene, this is 2,3-dimethyl but2ene. This is going to give us 3,3-dimethyl butane 2-ol. So there is going to be a methyl shift over here. This is the product which we are going to get, 3,3-dimethyl butane 2-ol. Okay, so over here we are getting a ketone. And in the upper reaction we were getting an aldehyde. The oxidizing agent which we are using is chromium chloride, CrO2Cl2. Okay. Then the fourth reaction over here, that is going to be by hydroboration oxidation reaction. Fourth reaction which we have by hydroboration oxidation reaction. Right? Now over here propene is going to be reacted with diborane in presence of tetrahydrofuran. So this is going to give us tripropyl borane. This is the same reaction as we had done in alcohols. Tripropyl borane. Then we subject this to NaOH in presence of a peroxide, when this is going to give us an alcohol. Okay, now this alcohol is going to be reacted with PCC in CH2Cl2 to give us the respective aldehyde. Okay? So we can take this with one cyclic compound also. So we are taking over here methylene cyclohexene. CH2. This is methylene cyclohexane, sorry, not hexene, methylene cyclohexane. This, when reacted with B2H6 in presence of THF, this is going to give us a compound of methylene cyclohexane borane. Okay, then again we are going to subject this to NaOH in presence of H2O2, and this is going to give us cyclohexyl methanol. This is cyclohexyl methanol. Then this is going to be treated with PCC in CH2Cl2 to convert the alcohol into aldehyde. This is cyclohexane carbaldehyde. Now the mechanism is same. Okay, if you know the mechanism and you know what is happening to the functional group, you can do the reaction with any kind of reagent. It is not going to be difficult. The only thing is that you should know that if you are using this reagent, this is the compound which you are going to get. Okay, and the reactant should have a double bond. So any kind of alkene when subjected to B2H6 in THF, that is going to give us a borane only. Right? And that borane on hydrolysis in presence of a peroxide, that is going to give us an alcohol. An alcohol, because we've already done that PCC, that is reacting as an oxidizing agent. So more oxidizing agent, that is going to convert the alcohol into its respective aldehyde. So the reaction that is going to be same. Okay? For square 5, number 5, we go on to preparation from alkynes. Preparation from alkynes. Now from alkynes, the first method of preparation is by hydration. Hydration means adding up of a water molecule. Okay, the water molecule that is going to add around the triple bond. So we have over here CH plus HOH. Okay, the reaction that takes place in presence of HgSO4 at a temperature of 60 degrees Celsius and in dilute H2SO4 such that OH attacks over here and hydrogen that is going to attack over here, and we are going to get a vinyl alcohol over here, which is CH2 double bond CHOH. This is known as vinyl alcohol. Okay? Now this vinyl alcohol that is unstable, so it is going to tautomerize when the hydrogen that is going to shift over here and the double bond will shift on this case, such that we have over here CH3 CHO. is going to tautomerize to a more stable aldehyde. Okay, now remember that formaldehyde cannot be prepared by this reaction. So let's take another alkyne to understand it better. We are taking a longer one now. CH3C triple bond CH plus HOH in presence of dilute H2SO4. So again, this is going to follow the Markovnikov's rule, where the negative part will attack at the carbon atom with lesser number of hydrogens, and the positive part will attack at the carbon atom with greater number of hydrogens, such that again we are going to get a vinyl alcohol over here. Okay, this is again going to tautomerize. So hydrogen goes here, double bond comes here to give us a ketone. And this is known as keto-enol tautomerism, which we've already done. This is the enol form, and this is going to be the keto form. Okay, this is known as keto-enol tautomerism. Got it? Then the second method of preparation is by hydroboration oxidation. So it is the same as we had just done. By reacting it with borane, I'll just put it here only. Second method of preparation from alkynes, that is by hydroboration oxidation. Again over here we are going to treat the alkynes with B2H6 or BH3. So we have 3 molecules of CH3, C triple bond CH, BH3 in presence of THF. This is going to give us okay, there's going to be CH. Now we are going to hydrolyze it in presence of a base OH negative, and this is going to give us enol. Okay, now over here this can be tautomerized to give us a aldehyde. So hydrogen is going to go over here, double bond that is going to go over here, such that we have CH3, CH2, CH, double bond O. This can be tautomerized to aldehyde. Okay, so it's the same kind of reaction as we had done over there. Then the next reaction, sixth reaction is from Grignard reagent. This reaction also we've already done in alcohols of Grignard reagent. Now, the first reaction what we are going to do over here, that is on reaction with nitriles. Nitriles is the cyano compound. So we have over here HC triple bond N. This is going to be a nitrile. Now over here the nitrogen is going to get a slight negative charge and carbon that is going to get a slight positive charge because of the fact that nitrogen that is more electronegative than carbon. So if you're taking over here a Grignard reagent RMgI, we know that over here the alkyl is the negative part and MgI that is going to be the positive part, such that the alkyl group will attack at the carbon and MgI that is going to attack at the nitrogen. Because over here nitrogen is negatively charged, MgI is positively charged. So it will attack over here. This is positively charged and this is negatively charged. So it is going to attack over here. The reaction that is going to take place in presence of dry ether. Okay? When we are going to get over here addition product of this type. Okay, now this is going to be hydrolyzed in an acidic medium when we will get RCHO plus ammonia plus magnesium hydroxyiodide. Okay, now please remember over here the number of carbon atoms which are present in the product, that will depend upon the alkyl group which is present with the Grignard reagent and not on this, because over here it is going to always have only one carbon atom. Okay? So if you are getting any kind of compound of this type, which is, we are taking a cyclic ठीक है, अब क्या होगा यहाँ पे, as I just said, this is going to go and attack at this carbon atom and MgBr will attack at the nitrogen. So we are going to get an addition product of the type ठीक है, फिर इसकी हाइड्रोलिसिस करो. What are we going to get? We will get cyclopropane carbaldehyde, ठीक है, CHO plus NH3 plus MgBr and OH. Have you understood? It is the same mechanism as we have done over here. This is the alkyl group now. So this alkyl group will attack at the carbon atom. This is going to give us an aldehyde plus ammonia reacting with water and plus magnesium hydroxybromide. Okay. Now if in case we have R over here, then what is going to happen? We are taking a nitrile of the type which has an alkyl group. ठीक है, और इसके साथ we are taking R dash MgBr. The reaction will take place in presence of dry ether. ठीक है, so this is going to attack at the carbon atom. Okay, MgBr will go and attack at the nitrogen atom. So what are we going to get over here? We will get an addition product of the type right? Then hydrolysis of this, that is going to give us a ketone. So this is going to be the mechanism of Grignard reagent. ठीक है? In a similar manner, Grignard reagent can also attack on esters. Over here, Grignard reagent that is attacking on the nitriles. You will see that the mechanism is going to be same. There is no change in mechanism which is going to take place. So let's do the attack of Grignard reagent on esters, on reaction with esters. Now esters over here, it's seen that if you're taking a formic ester, that is going to give us aldehyde. But if you're taking other higher esters, that is going to give us ketones. So let's take the example with both. We are going to take a formic ester over here. Okay, this is going to be known as what? Ethyl methanoate. Okay, this is how you name the esters. We will be doing the nomenclature of esters when we do the acids. It is known as methyl ethanoate. Okay, so if you're doing this reaction over here, let's do the reaction with RMgX. Again, the R will go and attack at the carbon atom. MgX will attack at the oxygen atom. Same mechanism which we were following in case of aldehydes and ketones. Also we follow the same mechanism to give us the respective alcohols. So over here also MgX that is going to attack at the oxygen and R will attack at the carbon such that we get an addition product over here of the type OC2H5. ठीक है, अब इसकी जब हम लोग हाइड्रोलिसिस करेंगे, so this is going to give us an alcohol because the cleavage of the bond is going to take place from here. RCHO plus C2H5OH plus MgX and OH. If we are taking higher esters over here, like we are taking over here ethyl ethanoate, राइट, और इसके साथ हम ग्रिग्नार्ड रिएजेंट जो है वो अटैक करते हैं. सेम मैकेनिज्म, R will attack at the carbon atom, ठीक है, MgX will attack at the oxygen atom. Okay, so the addition product which we are going to get over here is okay, on hydrolysis we will get a ketone plus is it clear? So the mechanism that is going to be same. So it's generally the formic ester which is going to give us aldehyde. Rest all the esters they are going to give us ketones. Only this is going to give us aldehyde. चाहे यहाँ पे अब C2H5 भी हो सकता है, C3H7 भी हो सकता है, कुछ भी हो सकता है, पर कार्बन के लेफ्ट हैंड साइड पे हाइड्रोजन ही होना चाहिए, तब वो हमें एल्डिहाइड देगा. अदरवाइज सारे के सारे जो है that is going to give us ketones, right? So similar kind of reaction can also be done with acyl halide. Okay, so we were doing this reaction. It is with Grignard reagent. This is also going to follow the same mechanism because it is going to have a C double bond O. So we're taking over here a formyl chloride. Formyl chloride is, this is going to be formyl chloride. ठीक है? So यहाँ पे अगर हम लोग CH3 MgCl के साथ इसे reaction दे दे, CH3 will attack at this, ठीक है, और MgCl that is going to attack at the oxygen such that we are going to get an addition product of the type HC CH3O MgCl and Cl, right? इसकी अब जब हम हाइड्रोलिसिस करेंगे in presence of H positive, this is going to give us HC CH3 double bond O plus MgCl2. So we're going to get an aldehyde. Okay, and if we're taking any other acyl halide then formyl, we are going to get a ketone. So we're taking acetyl chloride over here. Same mechanism, right? So we're going to get over here an addition product hydrolysis of this is going to give us a ketone. Plus MgCl2. So you can see that in all these reactions where we are doing the attack of various reagents on Grignard reagents, the mechanism that is going to be absolutely the same. right? So these were certain common methods of preparations of both aldehydes and ketones. In our next lesson, we will do the methods of preparation of aldehydes only and the methods of preparation of ketones only. Okay?